Well, thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the meeting organizers for inviting me to this conference. I really enjoyed this morning's session and the lightning talks. And I was thinking it's evident that we're all gathering here to talk about cell and gene therapy just really indicate that we're really turning the page. And this field has really come a long way after a long and arduous journey since 1953. The DNA structure was first characterized. It took about 37 years to get to the first gene therapy trials using gamma retrovirus for SCID patient. And unfortunately, for some of you that know that trial, they only tested 2 patients, and the results are mixed. And in parallel, the scientists also working on engineering cells. So the first generation CAR was developed in 1993, but the first generation CARs do not persist in the body and does not have a clinical effect. The last 10 years is really where we see the translational therapeutics taking off, starting with 2012, the first AAV-based gene therapy, Glabera, approved in Europe. Not sure if you know the history, and that therapy now is no longer on the market because of some of the commercial challenges. But at the same time, there are a lot of activities, clinical trials being conducted in both gene therapies and cell therapies. And 2017 is really the banner year for cell and gene therapy field. The first CAR-T therapy, Kymriah, was approved in US at the same time. The first AAV-based gene therapy, Luxturna, also got approved in US, and more to come. So today, we have over 2,400 clinical trials ongoing in the cell and gene therapy space. And it's almost equally split between the industry-sponsored clinical trials and academic government-sponsored clinical trials. So this really shows the diversity of this space. And also, we noticed that the indications for those clinical trials, 62% are on the prevalent disease and 38% are on the rare disease. That really indicating the field is evolving. And we believe cell and gene therapy today is at inflection point. Today we have 6 CAR-Ts approved on the market and 2 AAV-based gene therapy on the market right now. And with those first generation of cell and gene therapies, the second wave of innovations are already in the clinics with allogeneic CAR-T therapies, iPSC-based therapies, in vivo gene editing, and some of the data are just remarkable. So the next 10 years, the cell and gene therapy field really presented the huge opportunities for all of us to really take those transformative research to patients. Despite all the successes that we have seen, and this field is still challenging, and we heard this morning's talk about the challenges in the manufacturing space, the capacity that required to develop and manufacture cell and gene therapies are not always accessible to the researchers, physicians, scientists, startups, and even established companies to make the product and supply to the clinical trials. The second area of challenges is around the technology, and again, in this morning's talk, several of the speakers highlight some of the technology challenges. And what we have seen, the technology today for cell and gene therapy, very similar to what we have seen 20 years ago for monoclonal antibodies. They're not well-established platform. The processes are very manual, and a lot of room for innovation. Last but not least, talent. In the past 5 years, over $70 billion poured into the field, and today there are 1,300 cell and gene therapy developers worldwide. So if you think about that explosive growth, the demand for talent, particularly the talent in process development, manufacturing field, it's very hard to recruit and retain. So we really need a solution. We probably need a different solution. A creative approach to collaborate, to tackle the challenges that we're all facing. Regardless of whether you're a young startup or established company, you're service providers or solution providers, you're academic researcher or physician scientist, we're all in the same fight. So why not work together? Landmark Bio is established just for that. We are a new venture that brings the best of academia, industry, and hospitals to accelerate cell and gene therapy innovations. So founded by a group of partners, Harvard, MIT, Sativa, Fujifilm, Alexandria Real Estate, along with the 4 major hospitals in this region. The partners raised $75 million, and we leased out a space in Watertown, Massachusetts. Currently, we're building our facility. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, we'll have our labs and office open, and by the end of the year, we will have our GMP capabilities fully established and be able to make clinical products. So a little bit about what we do. So we are a CMC developer and biomanufacturer for cell and gene therapy products. So we do process development, cell and gene therapy manufacturing. Our capabilities include cell therapies, basically what we can call it cell processing, regardless of whether it's allogeneic or autologous therapies, iPSC-based therapies, gene editing. And we also have the capabilities for viral vector manufacturing and messenger RNA lipid nanoparticles. So GMP manufacturing is a big part of the facility. And in addition to process development and manufacturing, we also do CMC consulting, and we are building our team of really drug developers with deep CMC expertise, and we all have been through many drug development in our previous life, and we would love to apply our knowledge and know-how in this new space. And last but not least, technology innovations, and we are deeply rooted in this life sciences ecosystem with the leading universities and the startup companies. Would love to collaborate with academia and the startups and solution providers to advance manufacturing technologies in this field. We do believe there's a huge opportunities over there, and we heard Eric Smith talking about financial toxicity. I thought that was a very interesting term, and there's definitely room for innovation in that space. All right, let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. So as you know, drug development is a long journey. It starts from basic research through early discovery, preclinical, and then you go to in-human testing, and then file the product and get to the market. We chose to focus on the translational space, which is from early discovery to phase 1-2 proof of concept. And I share a little bit with you why we're doing that. There are 3 reasons that we chose this space. Number one, we think this area has the biggest barrier for the life sciences innovators to overcome because the capacity constraints, because of the expertise that are required in this space. And we want to make a difference. We want to help out and make an impact over there. And we're not just to close the capacity gap, and we want to apply our knowledge to really help to develop the best solution for you to get to the first in human as quick as possible without compromising the quality, the patient safety, as well as your overarching development objectives. Eventually, you want to take your research to the market to benefit a broad population of patients, and we would love to help that, and we think we can make a difference over there. The second reason that we would like to focus on this space is that we think this space is the most exciting space. That this is where a lot of innovation, therapeutic innovation occurs. And what we have seen is that many of those novel modalities don't always have a well-established manufacturing solutions out there. And again, we specialize process development, analytical development. We would love to apply the knowledge and experience in that space. And this is just really where we think we can make a meaningful impact, and that's what we're most excited about it. And the third reason is that we believe that we can take the learnings from the translational space, process development, CMC development, technology development, and apply to the next generation of the therapies. And for some of the therapies probably already in the market. So I think this is a really, really exciting space. And I would also like to point out that Landmark Bio is established by a group of partners that has a very extensive network technological capabilities and know-hows. And we're quite fortunate to be able to access those capabilities that really position us very well to anticipate some of the future trend, to explore new possibilities, and to set the course for future cell and gene therapy manufacturing innovation. Innovation is such broad term, and everyone talk about innovation. But how exactly we are going to do that? And we take a very practical approach, and we're going to be very intentional in terms of how we innovate. The first one is that we want to enable the therapeutic innovation. This is why we are here, and we want to really help to accelerate the translation of the early research and put it in test in human to demonstrate the proof of concept. And in doing that, we would like to apply our experience and knowledge in processing and analytical innovation. And I think this space is really an open field at this point, and we want to explore better biology for manufacturing, and we want to apply machine learning, artificial intelligence to really better understand our data and analyze our data. And another area that we really want to hone in is the pure analytics, and to be able to analyze and measure the attributes of the product so that we can establish QTPP, and we can establish a control strategy so that we can reproduce the results that we have seen in the lab in the GMP setting, and being able to deliver a consistent quality products. And again, I think right in the center of this ecosystem that we have a great opportunity and hopefully to collaborate with many of you in this audience. apply, and another area that we think we can really innovate is to apply some of the innovative tools and technologies developed by the young startups and established solution providers, and to find a best solution for the processes that we're currently working on. And to bring all of this together, we would like to really help to create a future of platform for the next generation of cell and gene therapy to really industrialize this remarkable medicine of the future. So, we believe we have a very strong mission inspired by the innovations occurred in this field and encouraged by our founding members. And we wanted to be the best, and we wanted to be the leader of CMC development and biomanufacturing for the next generation of cell and gene therapies. But if you ask around, and I believe that you will hear very similar missions and visions, and everyone wants to be the best. Who doesn't want to accelerate life sciences innovation? So what really makes Landmark unique? I want to share a little bit about my take on this. So the first one is the focus. And we are the service providers only focusing on and primarily focusing on helping accelerating the early research from bench to clinics. And that really allows us to give our full attention to our collaborators and our clients. The second one is our capabilities and offering. And we were building our GMP space, we're building our team, and we believe that we could leverage those capabilities to help the startup companies and researchers to accelerate their development work. As you know, people often say drug development is inefficient, it's a capital inefficient process rife with risk. And you got the capital and where you want to allocate. Rather allocating the capitals that you hard raised to infrastructures and capabilities, and still having the challenges to have the cold start for your own facility and the infrastructure. What we would like to offer is that our capabilities to you so that you can allocate your capitals in R&D and in clinical development to make your capital allocation a little bit more efficient. The third area is really about our intention to support emerging technologies. We position ourselves as pre-platform technology agnostic. What that means is that we have the capability to make different modalities, and we can also leverage that capability to really provide end-to-end cell processing, cell gene editing services over there. The last one I really think is our competitive advantage is our convening power, and the convening power of this partnership is allowing us to collaborate, to work together, to take on some of the tough challenges, to take on some of the risky projects in order to demonstrate the potential of therapeutics, in order to demonstrate the technology potentials. And that is really our social mission. And we absolutely want to be the best in this field, but what we really, really want is to be the best for this life sciences ecosystem, for our clients, for our collaborators, for our partners, for patients who we ultimately serve. So with that, I would really like to acknowledge our founding partners, Harvard, MIT, Sativa, Fujifilm, and Alexandria Real Estate for their investment and support, as well as our contributing institutions, basically through Deaconess Medical Center, Dana-Farber, Boston Children's, and Mass General Brigham. And then my Landmark Bio team, I will promise next time I will definitely bring a picture of my team. And I don't have a picture here, but we have a couple of folks here. And so thank you for the support. It has been a journey, and very excited, for our future. And before I go, we are growing, and so I'll just leave it over there. We're eager to partner with the startups or faculty members in developing technologies, de-risk technologies, advanced technologies. And we're also hiring, we're growing our team as well. And if you're interested, and I have my email address over there and my team, 2 of them are here and would like to catch up. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, that's a great question. So there are a lot of expertise in the small molecule and the biologic process development. I do think the experience and know-hows are transferable. And in fact, my team consists of the folks from the biologic side as well as from the cell and gene therapy side. And in fact, I think this field actually really benefits some of the veterans from the biotech industry and the small molecule world. Absolutely transferable. Our business model, and we're service providers, and we work with startup companies or researchers from universities, academia setting, hospitals. We're pretty flexible in terms of what we do, and to support the business. How do development partners work with Landmark Bio, and again, I think we're fairly flexible, and one way to work with us is to talk about what potential projects you may have, and we could either do type of support work through consulting services, or where we can do process development in our lab. We also welcome you to come to partner with us, and in fact, we have been talking to some of the young startup companies, and we're gonna work together as a co-development team to develop some of the manufacturing processes.
I think that's it. Are there any other questions? No, thank you so much, Ron.
Thank you.